Sometimes these things happen in MMA.
What's going on, fight fans? Welcome to These Things Happen in MMA. The purpose of this channel is to highlight moments and events that have made mixed martial arts into what it is today. Don't forget to follow the channel on social media at These Things MMA, and the link to my merch shop is in the description below. I'd also like to give a special thanks to 209 Mentality on YouTube for the recommendation. In this episode, I'm going to talk about Nate Diaz and how he changed the perception of cannabis use in mixed martial arts. This is the story of the Nate Diaz Rule. In March of 2016, Diaz was fresh off the biggest win of his career when he submitted Conor McGregor at UFC 196, handing the Notorious his first loss in the promotion. The victory earned Fight of the Night honors and instantly propelled Diaz into the mainstream.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
With high demand, the two superstars booked an immediate rematch in what would be the biggest fight of the year. The contest took place 5 months later on August 20th, 2016, and was held at UFC 202 in Las Vegas. In the first round, Conor got off to a quick start by landing multiple leg kicks, and he eventually dropped Nate with a clean left hand. The battering continued in the second as well, as McGregor dropped Diaz twice in the early moments. However, Nate weathered the storm and started gaining momentum at the end of the round. In the third, Diaz began taunting McGregor while landing the more effective strikes, and he would nearly get a finish in the last 30 seconds. The championship rounds were much more competitive as both men pressed the action. However, Conor would pull ahead in the fourth by connecting with vicious counters. The momentum swayed in the fifth, although Diaz would close out strong by controlling McGregor against the cage and scoring a takedown in the final seconds.
They left it all inside the octagon.
What a fight. Unbelievable. This crowd is on its feet. Those men just gave everything they had. And win, lose, or draw, that was an incredible performance by both fighters.
When the contest was over, McGregor won by majority decision in a grueling battle that once again earned Fight of the Night honors. Afterwards, Diaz arrived at the post-fight press conference sporting the battle wounds from their classic contest. Partway through the conference, Nate casually started smoking from a vape pen while answering questions from the media, and eventually MMA reporter Ariel Helwani inquires about the product.
And what exactly are you, just for the record, smoking?
It's the True company. It's a CBD. It helps with healing process and inflammation and stuff like that. So you want to get these for before, after the fights, training, and make your life a better place. CBD oil, if you don't know what that is.
In the following days after the event, Nate smoking CBD was as big as the fight itself, and nearly every sports media outlet covered the story. With all the attention, Diaz's actions wouldn't go unnoticed by USADA, and on October 6, 2016, the United States Anti-Doping Agency issued a public warning to Nate for the admitted use of a banned substance. The official press release stated, based on these circumstances, USADA determined that a public warning was an appropriate response to Diaz's use of a specified substance during the in-competition period. The issue wasn't necessarily that Nate was smoking CBD, but rather that he was still technically considered in competition, which was defined as 6 hours before the weigh-in and 6 hours after the fight. After USADA's investigation, they concluded that Diaz mistakenly believed the in-competition window ended directly after his post-fight drug test, and that no suspension was warranted. 7 months later, on May 3, 2017, Ariel Helwani held a special edition of the MMA Hour featuring Nate Diaz, and during the interview, he briefly asked Nate about vaping at UFC 202.
The Marley poster reminded me of the 202 press conference when you showed up with the pen, I believe it is. That got you a lot of street cred. A lot of people gave you respect for that. You didn't get in trouble, right?
It don't matter. I banked out in the cannabis industry from it.
Did you get a ton of sponsors from that?
Hey, it was a good move, and it was organic.
They actually changed. USADA actually changed the rule after that. Do you know that?
Yeah, they changed it. Compliments of your boy here.
When Nate finished that fight with Conor, USADA came to the post-fight medical tent, said, Nate, we need to make a collection from you. And I don't know whether it was blood or urine, but they got a sample from him. What I said is, look, you can't punish him. You have the sample that shows what was in his system. Right. Yes, CBD was prohibited in competition, but you have a sample to show whether or not he was using it. Right. So we changed that rule. And now, basically, the rule is the in-competition period ends with a collection immediately after the fight, or, USADA has a reasonable amount of time after the fight. After we change this rule, Nate and Nick Diaz come to a fight. So I go over to Nick and Nate. I say, hey, Nate, man, hey, we changed that rule, the whole CBD thing, and actually we kind of refer to it as the Nate Diaz rule. So about a month later, Nate, I see him, I think it was in Vegas, I'm in the kind of walkout tunnel, and here comes Nate. So I'm talking to Yancey, all of a sudden Nate goes, hey, Jeff, man, tell Yancey about my USADA rule. I got a USADA rule named after me, dog. And so I thought, man, you're doing something right when Nate Diaz is like excited about changing a USADA rule, right?
Later that same year, the World Anti-Doping Agency officially announced the removal of CBD from the prohibited list, beginning on January 1st, 2018. In the following months, CBD became much more accepted in the mainstream, and on July 24, 2019, the UFC announced a partnership with Canadian research company Aurora Cannabis to study the health benefits of CBD use.
The money to be spent on the research for this is groundbreaking. And not just for us, not just for our sport, for all sports, and for people who work out every day, and for people who deal with chronic pain and things like this. We're in with these guys for 8 years. I believe that this is the future. I believe that this is it's what we're doing first, but I believe all sports are going to be involved in this too, and it's massive.
The deal was the first of its kind in professional sports, and because of it, other organizations are starting to accept CBD as well. In January of 2021, the UFC and USADA announced that they would no longer punish athletes who tested positive for THC, and later that year, the Nevada State Athletic Commission officially declared marijuana as non-performance enhancing. Cannabis and mixed martial arts have a history as old as the sport itself, and over the years, many fighters have openly admitted to using the drug for various reasons. On the road to acceptance, numerous fighters had their careers negatively impacted by the rejection of cannabis use in MMA. The most famous case being Nate's older brother Nate Diaz, who at one point received a 5-year suspension after his third offense in 2015. This newfound acceptance of marijuana and mixed martial arts has been a long time coming, and the catalyst for the recent swaying opinion is largely due to the vape pen incident at UFC 202. So let us never forget Nate Diaz and how he forever impacted the sport of MMA. As always, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below with a topic you'd like to hear me cover in a future episode. Again, don't forget to follow the channel on social media at These Things MMA, and the link to my merch shop is in the description below. Thanks for watching and supporting my channel.
Is it amazing to you when you started out in the sport what marijuana was? You know, how it was so stigmatized and where it is now. Now you've got your own successful company. Is it amazing to you just to see how much that's changed over the last 10 years?
You know what's crazy to me? The best part about this whole thing, I got kicked out of school for fighting and selling weed. And now, for a professional career, I'm fighting and selling CBD. But as an athlete, I think you should be smoking some marijuana if you choose to do something to help you get through the day instead of sticking a bunch of steroids in your ass. And longevity-wise, it helped me. Look how long I've been in the game. I'm still peaking on main event status type of shit, and that's from smoking herb.
Sometimes these things happen in MMA.